Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. I'm Chris, joined by my brothers, Adam
Hello.
and Eric.
Hello.
And we are back in the room once more to give our take on video games. And this week, we've got a few topics to cover. First of all, is Kojima behind this game Abandoned coming to the PS5, or has the internet just gone wild with conspiracy theories? We're also going to be looking at first hands-on impressions of the Xbox Series X, because Adam has gotten one. He's the first of the brothers to actually get one. And then we're also going to be talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, with specific details on Intermission, that Yuffie DLC, which came out as well. So we've got a ton of shit to get through today, but it's going to be all really, really interesting. And of course, like always, we'd like you guys to jump in on the discussion, because at any point, some of these things, might grab your interest. If you're into the whole Kojima conspiracy thing, or if this is the first time you hear of it, you might want to, check it out yourself and then get in contact with us, see what you think about it all of this like conspiracy theory nonsense, or maybe it's true, who knows. You might also want to give us some recommendations in terms of Xbox games to check out. And you might also want to get in touch with us about Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade if you've been playing the Yuffie DLC, and let us know all your thoughts on it. And have you got new theories about the remake going forward now? Oh my god. Basically, there's lots of theories and stuff going to be brought up in this episode. So if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to jump down into the comments at any point to let us know your thoughts. And if you enjoy this episode, be sure to give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and click that notification bell so you know when we put out future content. If you listen to us on audio platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever else you like to listen to us, you can also touch base with us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take, again, to let us know your thoughts on all the crazy stuff we talk about today. But without further ado, let's talk gaming. Okay, I feel like we should start with this blue box abandoned crazy shit. Because I've like lost sleep over the last week.
That's how I was with PT.
Right.
Like trying
The
to
beginning.
figure out even afterwards, even when we lost it as a demo and we couldn't access
We lost one of the good
anymore.
ones.
Yeah, and like you just go onto like different forums and stuff, and people are like sharing their theories. Because I still don't know. Like I cleared it twice, but I still don't know how I did that. So I need the answer.
Yeah.
I need to know.
Nobody
so
knows.
get it. I get what it's like to go down this fucking rabbit
hole of
conspiracies,
craziness.
But this is wild.
This is wild. This is so wild. So I think we should probably talk a bit about it for anyone who doesn't know. Plus,
Have you seen it, Eric?
Oh, I saw the one that you shared, Adam. Yeah.
Yeah.
but have you gone further down this rabbit hole?
No, I kind of was a little bit like I seen what happened to Alice. I'm fine going down this rabbit hole. I'm gonna take the blue pill and I will stay in Wonderland.
Okay. Because like it's nuts. It is nuts. Like so for anyone who doesn't know, I won't go through all of it because there's a lot, and there's plenty of people who have documented it or done videos on it, podcasts on it. So there's many people who have like gathered all the evidence and they do it in greater detail, and it's worth checking out. But just to give you a basic idea of what we're talking about, a while back there was this teaser for a game called Abandoned, which is coming to the PS5 by a studio called Blue Box Games Studios, right? They're new. They're like an indie studio. No one knows who they are or where they came from. They're based in the Netherlands, and they're the head of Blue Box Games is a guy called Hassan Karaman.
Right.
Okay, and Abandoned is supposed to be like this horror game, and they showed a little bit of this like footage in a forest. They did say it's not actual gameplay. They were pretty open about that. They had someone's
There's actually a little bit of an update on that, isn't there?
Yeah, there is an update on that, which makes it so much weirder. Basically, right? I've actually tried, because like when I first checked this whole thing out. Sorry, before we get into it.
Right.
Basically, what people are saying, if you don't know, is people have theorized that this game Abandoned is not abandoned at all. It is actually Silent Hill or Silent Hills or a new Silent Hill game, and that Hassan Karaman is not a real person. It's actually Hideo Kojima who's behind all of this, and they've gone looking for the evidence, and they've compiled a lot of really, really interesting shit. Like, really interesting shit. And, like, it's so funny, because I'm not into conspiracy theories at all. And I'm one of the first, like, at all. And I usually am like, yeah, right, okay, nonsense. The thing about this one is...
There's a lot of coincidence, though, isn't there?
There's an awful lot. Some of them are reaching, and you're like, stop. But then some of them you're like, okay, yeah, that's weird, and that's also weird, and that there is also weird. And if it was anyone else, if it was like, you know what, I have this theory that Blue Box Games is actually Cory Barlog, and that this is actually secretly God of War, right? Say it was that, you'd be like, nonsense. And even if they found all these like coincidences, you'd be like, that's nonsense. That's just not true.
Yeah.
Because it's Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, it's not out of character or anything.
It could be true. It could be true. He does this shit.
Yeah.
He even, and it's not even just like people go back to PT and they go back to Metal Gear Solid 5. Right? Eric,
Yeah.
do you remember when Metal Gear Solid 5 was first being like
They
revealed to people?
they did have a teaser of Metal Gear Solid 5, but then there was this other trailer for like, what was it, Moby Dick Studios, was it?
Yes.
Or something. And
Yeah.
it was like and honestly, it looked so much cooler than Metal Gear Solid 5 when they first teased Metal Gear Solid 5.
Right.
And it was the guy going through the hospital and everyone getting shot and shit. And it was just the phantom pain. And people's like, there was letters, like parts of the letters at the top were missing, and then people fit Metal Gear Solid 5 into it. That's how they figured it out. I remember one of the theories for that was the symbol for Moby Dick was the whale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the way the fucking whale's like fin things at the end of his tail, they were like, look, this fits on top of Hideo Kojima's head. Those his hairline. Like, that's just some people like. So Abandoned does have some of those theories.
It does, and then you go, no, that's just batshit. But then you go back to that and you go, but they were right that time.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing is, right, so Moby Dick Studios had a director or a head of the studio whose name was Joachim Mogren. Right. And there was an interview between Jeff Keighley and Joachim Mogren, who was an actor, and it was more clear that he was an actor. Like, it was very obvious. He had the bandages on his face and all, and it was like, who the fuck is this? Come on, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And Joachim was an anagram for Kojima. Right. So they, like, that was all planned. This developer, Hassan Karaman, so people have said, first of all, HK, it's the same initials as Hideo Kojima. Right, that could be total coincidence.
Yeah.
Karaman, when translated from Turkish to Japanese, is Hideo. It's like, wait, okay, so that's weird too, right?
Yeah, that is
the whole
strange.
thing is weird. I keep trying to debunk it, and then they keep coming back with other shit where it's like, no, but have you seen this though? And I go, oh, okay. They've outsourced some of the work to a studio called Noir. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Noir, I think it's
Noir,
pronounced as Noir,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, and they've worked on like that's not unusual. They've worked on loads of games. They get outsourced to lots of AAA games. One of them is Death Stranding, but like they've worked on loads, so that's not.
Yeah,
like...
Last was Part 2. I think
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima, Halo Infinite. Actually, they've been doing some work on that.
Yeah, but their Twitter recently. There's a lot happening on Twitter on the side of this whole conspiracy thing. They recently, they used to have like loads of people they followed. They recently unfollowed loads. They've got like 10 people they're following now. One of them is Blue Box and one of them is Kojima. Like, it's fucking weird. It's just weird. All of it is weird. I don't know. What do you make of this? And there is more, by the way. There is more.
Oh, yeah,
in case people haven't looked it up. Like, this is batshit.
Honestly, for me,
It's
because I
mental.
think like some people were a bit like this could hurt if it wasn't Silent Hill, let's say, right? This Abandoned was just an indie horror game.
Mhm.
Some people say that would hurt the stocks for it, and I can understand why it would hurt the stocks for it.
Okay.
because people will be looking for. They're like, oh my god, it's Silent Hill. It's Hideo Kojima. It's fucking this going to be. And then if it's turned out not to be, they're like, oh well, then they're gonna be disappointed because it's not that. But either way, I really am intrigued and excited for this game, even if it isn't Silent Hill. Just based
what
on
is it?
yeah, just what is it?
Well, it's built a myth around it now, hasn't it? Like,
Yeah, it's odd.
it's the weirdest thing.
I remember, like, cause I think it was what made me think maybe this was Silent Hill was during the trailer. You had the person walking through the really well detailed forest, and there was the monologue, and they were talking about the cult or the weird like religion thing.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, that seems kind of Silent Hill-ish.
Yeah, right.
But like, no,
but it could also be any horror game, right?
Yeah, yeah, it could be. But like, with the amount of theories everyone has, I'm surprised no one brought it up. But people decided to more focus on what trespassers or something.
Yeah, that's a weird one. Yeah,
and they like, oh look, it blocks out the P and the T. It's like, come on.
Yeah, that's
I think that was a bit.
That one to me is a reach. But did you hear about the forest footage?
Okay, no, maybe I don't think so.
It's been proven actually because they tweeted at like Hassan Karaman and he did confirm that forest footage is procedurally generated. You can buy it for $35. It is not something built by a game developer, which means it was just
it's part of Unreal Engine. I think it's like something you can buy
just to put a teaser together.
Yeah,
so
it's likely that the game is not going to look anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, just it's so weird as well that like, and Jeff Keighley is interested in being involved in the reveal they keep talking about of whatever this fucking is. It's like, how many indie games get this kind of attention from these people? Why are Sony being so quiet about when this has now over the last 2 weeks blown up into this crazy conspiracy? Why aren't they like, guys, please stop? Like like, if it's not, I don't know. Like, I personally, I don't actually think it's Silent Hill.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure.
I also think it's a bigger deal than a indie game. Like, it's getting its own app as a reveal.
Yeah, there's a lot of
what the fuck is that?
The whole thing is just strange. It's like because how many games get like we would see something about it. We would know something about it by now. Like, they were supposed to reveal that app during the week, weren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was supposed to be revealed
25th, wasn't it?
Last Monday, first, and it was delayed then to the Friday.
And now it's delayed to August.
And now it's delayed to August.
That's just that's
a huge jump.
That's a huge jump.
Do you think there's a PlayStation event coming up in August, and that's where they're going to reveal it?
Maybe it could be that.
It's weird.
It could be that they're just so out of their depth that what they have to show would never live up to now the giant hype that's built around it, and feel that shit. We need to really work on this and make sure that we have a really great showcase, something that would be better than people's expectations, which is not going to happen. But that's the unfortunate thing, is that nothing that they show is going to live up to the expectations of what people think it is.
And if it isn't Silent Hill, right? Let's say it isn't. It was kind of slightly silly in all the kind of build up the conspiracy for them to tweet the
S and the L
begins with S, begins with S, ends with L. Like, that's like the title of the game or something, or that's within
and they said reveal closing in.
Yeah.
And I was like what? Didn't the tweet say something like abandoned is not the real name of our game?
Yeah.
I don't
First
know,
letter
actually.
S, last letter L.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you must have known what you're doing there to people, right? Like, people already, that's not where the theory started. People already theorized that maybe it's actually Silent Hill for whatever reason from that forest footage. People already had like ideas.
Well, there was already rumors of a Silent Hill being in the works for
a while
in collaboration with Sony to some degree, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. And I suppose people expected that it's coming from Konami. Now, maybe Konami are like inspired by the way Kojima marketed and are trying to like do something like Kojima would do.
I don't
in
think
order
Konami
to-
are clever enough to do something like that.
But I mean, we don't like they could have taken on new talent. Like they're like who knows
I think
what
likely
they did in order to.
because the rumor is that Konami, there's a Metal Gear game and there's a Silent Hill game in the works with Sony, right? That's been in the rumor mill for a bit, and that
That Blue Point is doing Metal Gear, right?
is doing Metal Gear. So if I was Konami, and I had a deal with Sony, is that I'd imagine Sony would say like, look, let us take care of it. We'll take care of everything, the marketing, the development of it, the whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically allow us to rent your IP and you get a good cut out of the profits of the game, right? So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to spend any money on the marketing. We'll take care of that. And Konami not doing anything, that the IP is just sitting there, I would be like, yeah, okay, here you go. You know it's going into good hands. Sony are really great with their kind of first party exclusives, I guess.
Yeah.
So in that situation, I could kind of see, because we saw with the Death Stranding trailer this Metal Gear vibe to it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So my thinking is that if Kojima is involved at all, it's only in the marketing of these two franchises, but he's not involved in the making of them. But he's involved in the announcement of them. And that
Possibly.
this is likely a brand new studio by Sony called Blue Box, possibly.
Possibly.
Or at least an indie company. Because, I mean, it's not the first time that, I wouldn't call Ready at Dawn indie, but,
Yeah.
you know, they did make an exclusive. Their first ever console game was an exclusive for the PlayStation, which was The Order. So it wouldn't be
Yeah.
unusual for that to happen. But, yeah, and No Man's Sky, Hello Games, another indie studio that Sony took under their wing for a timed exclusive in that regard. But it's just that everything else around it is just really suspicious. It's really hard to make what it could be. Like, it's not out of reach for this to be a Kojima move, but considering their history of making apps on the App Store, failed or not, or just that they've been up for a little bit, like this guy is obviously a developer. I mean, his name is plastered over these things. There's no way they were planting a seed this long.
Yeah.
Back in 2015 or something when Blue Box started or something like that.
That is some elaborate marketing.
That's what I'm saying, but at the same time, you're like, would you put it past Kojima if it turned out it was him?
Not really. I mean, he's always been doing shit, isn't it? Like, I mean, MGS2 in itself was a weird marketing thing.
Yeah, I mean, he hid the fact that you're not playing a snake.
Yeah.
In all the marketing.
Yeah.
Like, he's been doing this the whole time. Or even, like, maybe it's a smaller scale, but, like, in Metal Gear Solid 1, the fight with Psycho Mantis, basically, there was no hints or anything, and you had to go theorize with your pals. Does anyone know how to beat Psycho Mantis?
Yeah.
And it was some crazy fourth wall breaking shit.
Yeah,
Like,
which he managed
he's
to capture
always
again at PT.
Yeah, right? Oh man, this is so weird. Like, okay, do you think Hassan Karaman,
Right.
poor fella,
Yeah.
is he real?
Yeah.
Well, it's obviously real.
Obviously there's a person, but is that his actual name, and is he a developer? Is that
Well, that's what I'm
is
saying.
that
Like,
big?
his name is attached to some apps that were in the App Store
right?
even a few years back. So,
Yeah.
unless it's a very popular name,
I imagine
I don't know how.
I imagine it is actually.
Right.
I imagine it is a popular name in the same way as Hideo is a popular name in Japan. That's not an uncommon name.
Right.
So, and I don't think that Hassan is. I think Hassan is a very popular name, and well, obviously I don't know about surnames. Karaman, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But like the name coincidence, it's because of all the other coincidences is what makes it so weird.
Yeah.
But the name coincidence, like, you know, there's lots of people's names mean those same things and stuff, so it's just strange.
Yeah, it's just too many things kind of line up that way, don't they?
it's so bizarre. Eric, do you think Hassan Karaman is a real guy, or is that just an actor?
It's so hard to say because it's Kojima.
We think.
I mean, well, like, yeah. I mean, yeah, like 2015, like that is. he's done marketing schemes, but this would be too long, if you know what I mean. Let's say if you are working with the idea that Siren Caravan is actually just a guy, an alias for Hideo Kojima or whoever, like it's too long of a one. Like 2015, he would have been working on what? He was working on Metal Gear Solid 5 at the time, wasn't he? 2015, give or take around that time. That's when
Well, it would have been launched.
No, he was moving
PC.
on. He was working on Silent Hills at the time.
Yeah.
Right, he was working on Silent Hill. Oh my god!
Before it got cancelled, the project was abandoned.
Oh my god!
And then he went on to Death Stranding. Did you, Eric? Did you notice in the Death Stranding trailer the Netherlands flag on Sam Porter Bridges?
I didn't, but Adam did point it out to me.
What's that about?
Yeah, I don't know, but like even actually, well, now to go into some of the more silly theories,
right? Yeah.
which was like again in the Death, just still sticking with the Death Stranding trailer, was like he puts down the box and the box is very fun.
Oh yeah. You lose me there as well.
Yeah, I think everyone is just trying to get like similar to the Moby Dick logo matching Hideo's hair. It's just like everyone's just trying to get have like, oh look, I discovered something too, and we can all like tearize about it. And it's just like,
but it's also it's very Hideo Kojima to want to bring people together. I mean, that's one of the greatest things about Death Stranding is everyone coming together and working together to solve a problem,
or coming together to hate on the game.
Or coming together,
which is likely going to be the result of this if they don't say something.
I actually think that, like, I've heard a lot of people say is like, they're like, if this is Silent Hill, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Right.
If it's not Silent Hill, I'm so along for the ride now to know what the fuck this is.
Yeah.
Whatever it's revealed to be, I have to check it out because I'm too curious. Because even if some of it is being pumped up by people, the way they are marketing this is still interesting, regardless of all the theories. The fact that they are going to make an app for the trailer, that what they've shown so far is not the game at all. The title is not the actual title at all.
Yep.
They've contacted Jeff Keighley, and we're hoping that he might help them announce it at a summer event. All of that for this game made by someone that nobody knows is interesting.
But like I think so. And I'm really excited to figure out what this is, and I think that is exciting. But I don't know if that excitement is going to result in
good
game sales. That's the thing. I don't know if they're going to get the result they were hoping for, and I think the majority of people, when it's coming up to this, are going to be probably hostile towards the developers. I know, like, I think, in the spaces that we would follow, right, I would consider them much more respectful gamers, that they're very aware of the amount of work that goes in, and are willing just to try any game anyway, right? It's not like necessarily that much of a waste of your time to try out a game.
No, of course not.
But just considering how hostile people tend to be the wider internet towards something like Aloy's Face or The Last of Us Part 2 having a whatever, or
I hear you.
Or like, even was it the Brute Craig from Halo Infinite, whatever it may be, right? The people get even, like, remember I was saying to you today, Chris, about that buzz coil, that wine coil sound from the PS5. It makes a little bit of a buzzing sound.
Yeah.
I've seen people trash their PS5 because of that.
That's ridiculous.
Like, break it. Just out of frustration and anger. Like, so I just think that people can really lose their shit when it comes to something as small as this. And if they're thinking it's something else and it's not that, then I think this could hurt the studios. Which is probably, I think, is the reason behind the delay. Is, I'd say,
so they have time to set realistic expectations?
Probably, but also I imagine Sony's marketing team or HR are getting involved as well to make sure that this all goes smoothly, that this isn't another No Man's Sky. They don't want to repeat that again.
Yeah.
And the studio is tweeting, like they're doing Q&A sessions on Twitter, like they are answering people's questions, and they're saying they repeat time and time again that there's no involvement. And as much as we've seen that type of
nobody believes them.
Yeah, no one believes them. It's like, oh, that's exactly what
that's exactly what a paid actor would say.
Yeah. That's never happened before in the past with a Kojima game, right? You never saw Moby Dick Studios deny that they were working with Kojima.
No, they ended up. Well, actually, no, they did. They did. Sorry, but then they revealed in an interview. It was pretty obvious anyway that the guy was a.
Well, that was during during the reveal, wasn't it?
No, leading up to it, they did an interview, and it was.
Yeah, and they played that interview again, like a week later, right? It wasn't that long. It was like a week later.
Oh, okay.
And the bit where Jeff Keighley says, "Isn't that the Fox engine?" And then they do the kind of alert sound, and then Kojima comes out on stage wearing the bandages and takes it off. And he reveals the anime. So there wasn't that much of a, leading up to it, there wasn't that much. And it was pretty obvious because the MGS5 trailers or gameplay was already shown. If the order was reversed, it probably would have been a much bigger surprise. But he isn't that good. I think the PT, I think, is as good as we're going to get out of like a real secret.
Because that dropped out of nowhere, though.
Yeah.
There was even fuck all of like a lead up to it.
Yeah.
This one seems... It's one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen in like the gaming world. It's weird. The whole thing's weird.
Yeah.
And I can't actually wait to see what it actually is. Fuck it. Why don't we weigh in and say what we actually think it is, right?
Okay.
Now, and our minds might change in the next few months or whatever, but why don't we weigh in, can't be on the fucking fence about this. Do you think it's Kojima or not? What do you think it actually fucking is?
Like this, as it stands at the moment, like this can go really in either direction.
Any direction.
Because the evidence on either side is not
actually
not
it actually turns out to be Splinter Cell, because it begins with an S and ends in an L.
yeah. Could be.
People
that's the
really
thing too. Like
where
people are saying, like, oh, if this was Kojima, it wouldn't be Unreal Engine, right? It would be possibly Decima, right? But that latest thing is like, shows Unreal Engine. But yes, it would only show Unreal Engine because that's all that's being used in the trailer right now. But that's not going to be the game engine they're using necessarily.
Yeah.
Like they could be using the game engine, but we know the game's not going to look like that. So that little Unreal Engine logo could be a ruse.
You can actually, it's with what's stacked up there at the moment, you can debunk every counter argument, and it's like on both sides, and it's like never ending. And
because even I think the Hideo Kojima translation you can still debunk a little bit, because it's actually you have to translate.
You have to go to English first.
Yeah, you have to translate Hideo to English and then English to Turkish. But I haven't seen anyone do it the other way around. I haven't gone.
See, I went and did it myself because I was like, I'm not just going to take the information at face value. And like, for example, I went and followed Blue Box Game Studio and actually went through their tweets because I was like, again, I'm not taking
just
it
fucking just pinning them up on your wall and shit. Just
fucking like that Charlie Day meme, absolutely, losing sleep over being like, what the fuck? I need to know more.
Yeah.
I did. I started following them all, and I started like looking through Kojima's tweets to see could I pick up on anything.
Nah, there's nothing on inside.
I did one as a joke. The mist I thought was funny on the day of that the app was supposed to come out. That he just, and you see on Instagram it didn't show the tweet. On Instagram it was just a picture of the book, The Mist. So there was no context. I was like, "What are you doing to me, Kojima?" And then of course you found the actual tweet where you talk more about it. But I think one of the weird things is the actually speaking of tweets, the time of the tweets.
Yeah, that's all.
It seems like a minor detail, but it is fucking odd. So Hassan Karaman is supposedly tweeting during the middle of the night, like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, when it's actually the afternoon over in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
That's
strange. Was it his Kojima Productions has a studio in the Netherlands? Do you not know that? You didn't know that one?
Oh my god! See, I was about to say what I think it is, and now I've changed my mind.
They do. They have and it's recent enough that they started that branch.
I mean, like, the shit writes itself. This is the most elaborate conspiracy theory I have ever seen.
Could you
Flat
like,
Earthers, shut the fuck up and get on this Kojima train right now. This is fucking bonkers.
I do feel so sorry for the team, like, you know, because they're just
Yeah.
like, oh
Well,
no,
unless-
what are we doing?
Yeah. It's like, who the fuck sent out that tweet with the S and the L in it? Just like, you fuckers. Look
Yeah.
what you've done.
Yeah.
But
I
I
don't
mean,
believe you.
Going back to the time though, is it so weird for an
No,
indie
it's-
game company making?
not.
Yeah,
It's not really. It would be if there was a bigger studio. It would be because you would have,
Yeah.
A department
more.
doing it.
Yeah, you'd have more. Yeah, you'd have more people.
you'd have HR doing that. Like,
well, it
probably.
wouldn't be HR, it'd be marketing, but it would have actual. You would not that game devs work on like a 9 to 5 role, but it probably the marketing team is a little bit stricter with their time. But if you're an indie dev company and he's taking care of the marketing by himself, he's spending all day managing his new company. So the only time he has to possibly do that is like 1 in the morning. So,
I know, but
yeah.
is there a point in hosting a Q&A on Twitter at 1 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah. Why
Where
not?
you are like,
Yeah, for people who can't sleep because they're pinning up all these yolks in the
yeah.
fucking-
he's like, I know everyone's up all night. I know they
Conspiracy
are.
theorists
I know they are.
don't.
They're all.
sleep.
They're all.
Yeah.
I've seen all their memes of Charlie Day. I know what's going on here.
Okay, Eric. So where do you weigh in on this?
I am weighing in on the. At the moment, it's not Silent Hill.
But is
it
Kojima involved?
Oh, no, because I think he's too busy with the Death Stranding.
Do you think it's just a conspiracy, and it's all just coincidences?
All just coincidences, because I found that more of them were just like, now you're reaching more than they were. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Adam, where are you at with it?
Yeah, I don't think Kojima's involved. But not necessarily. I think it's more likely to be a Silent Hill than Kojima being involved, actually. But I don't think it's either. I think it is a new studio who just got way in over their head. Like, I think I think it is supposed to be a new game. I think Sony possibly saw something in it, something worth funding or at least giving them something to help them on their way. But yeah, I don't think it's Hideo himself.
So here's where I'm at, and I honestly do not want to take away from the work of hard people, right?
Yeah.
Part of me hopes this is Kojima because it would just be the most fucking ridiculous, elaborate marketing thing ever. Like, it'd be just stupid and fucking awesome at the same time. But I don't think it is. I don't think it's Kojima, and I don't think it's Silent Hill. I do think it's just crazy, crazy, wild theories and conspiracies. I think it is a new studio genuinely working on a game, but I do think it's a big deal. I think it's possibly launching with something new that Sony are planning. This app thing has me thinking that they're actually, like, they made a partnership with this studio to be the first to launch something with some new thing that in the future will be used by other people.
Do you think it could be like along the lines of that kind of share play style? Not share play. What's it called? Remember the Agenda app with the Agenda game?
No,
Is that what's called? Agenda?
Yeah, Hidden Agenda.
Hidden
Chris,
Agenda.
you had it.
Sorry,
Hidden Agenda. Sorry. Yeah. No, yeah.
And that worked with an app.
Yeah, when you don't put in that extra word, how are we ever supposed to know what you're saying?
I was trying to remember the name.
The word hidden was hidden. Yes.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's how are you not getting it? I mean, you're able to make this connection as Hideo, and you can't find the word hidden.
That's Hideo. That is actually where I'm coming from. Yeah.
Yeah, you think of something like that.
I think it's a new thing.
Yeah, I think it's kind of being overhyped for something like that, doesn't it?
Oh, but it's not them doing it, really, right?
Well, I mean, I suppose they're excited for their own game, and that would probably explain why PlayStation aren't like chiming in on it, because it's like,
well, everyone's talking about it, so cool.
Yeah, and it's not like something that people want to focus their energy on.
Yeah.
At this moment, like,
They like it really. If
That
it's
sounds
not,
realistic.
if it's not Hideo Kojima, if it's not, they should really send out something just as. No, actually, no one will believe it.
no one's going to believe
Yeah,
it.
that's
Like,
the thing. No, like Hassan Karaman has actually been on video saying, "Hi, I'm Hassan Karaman. I am not Hideo Kojima." They've done tweets saying, "Guys, we have nothing to do with Konami. We have nothing to do with Kojima." And all the responses are just, "You're lying. You're actors. This is not real." People are so deep in it now that even if Sony came out and said, "Guys, honestly, Blue Box Game Studio is a new studio to work on an indie game. We're very excited about the partnership," everyone's gonna go, "Sony, stop lying to us. You're in on it too. It's just Kojima, you know."
yeah.
So
I'd say those conspiracy, like, they will follow Hassan to his grave, and they'll be at his burial going, "Why didn't you just tell us the truth, Hassan?" Like,
well, like after years and years of him making games, becoming a huge game maker, and they'll be like, "You're still an actor."
yeah, you're still,
Jesus Christ.
you're still. Where's Silent Hill, Hassan?
See, that's he actually whatever about the theories and all. Actually, the last video that he put out where he talked about that they had to delay the game to August, or at least the reveal of the game to August, I was like, I don't care what anyone says. That seems really genuine. That seems like a guy who's fucking
you
wrecked,
know what?
who's really tired, and
he did look wrecked though, didn't he?
He looked like he was like, I already know I'm gonna get bombarded with fucking tweets that like you're telling me I'm someone else and that I'm not working on the game that I'm actually working on. Like that's what it looked like to me. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with him on it.
He's an actor. That was all makeup and everything. He's like, sure, like Chris Hemsworth is there in a spaceship, fucking crying about his fake mom and dad dying in Infinity War. Like, see, it's all lies, man.
Yeah. Do you not know how acting works? Jeez.
Yeah,
he's just convincing. Okay.
Yeah, just everything around it though. So sus.
It's bizarre. So look, guys, let us know where you fall on this conspiracy theory. That's where we stand at the moment. Anything can happen between now and August. We could easily be swayed if something crazy comes out and you're like, oh, here now, fuck, I can't ignore that. But very excited to see what this ends up being, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye on it as it further progresses. I'm sure people will find more shit and take it down a deeper road. But if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you jump down in the comments, letting us know where you stand on the conspiracy so far, and maybe if you want to point out any evidence that we haven't seen yet or that you'd like to highlight further, if you fall anywhere on this like side of the debate. And then if you're listening to audio platforms, you can touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Brothers Take again, and let us know where you fall on this whole Kojima Blue Box abandoned conspiracy. But moving on from PlayStation for the moment, Adam has gotten himself an Xbox Series X. Let's talk about the Xbox. What are your first hands-on impressions of it, Adam?
I'm in love.
I'm in love. That's the song, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know whether it's just like a honeymoon period or whatever, but it's such a great machine. I think initially the unboxing of it is just I just have to congratulate them on such great packaging, because that's part of it. You know, it's you know I know people.
What are you talking about, man?
You end up
people,
throwing
who
out
gives
the
a
box,
shit about packaging? No, but like
it is part of it.
And Eric, you were there when I unboxed the PS5 for the first time, right?
Yeah.
Weren't we both like, that's it? That's the packaging? Like, I love the PS5, but the packaging was like,
yeah, it was a bit weird. It was a bit because the box is like too tall, and you're kind of like, I'm trying to film you doing it, and then you're like, I don't know, it's like too. That was weird. It was weird and didn't seem safe. And I think Adam, you were telling me that some people had like cracks on their PS5 or something, or on the controllers or something.
No, on the actual console, yeah, there'd be a scratch
console,
on it because like it's not
yeah.
exactly packaged well. Like
No.
in Sony's defense, I guess the packaging, everything in it is like recyclable. Like they've gone away from using any kind of foam or styrofoam or anything like that. But it's like you can still do that though, and make you don't have to use. You can still use recyclable material and make the experience easier as well. Like easier to actually take out of the fucking packaging.
Too awkward to pull it out of the box, like.
Would have been nice if it was one of those boxes that actually opens up like a lid and you take it out flat, right?
Yeah, like a little suitcase nearly.
Yeah, that would have been nicer.
Yeah. So that's the first bit, like when you actually open it, and it's presented to you like a gift, like a present, like it's kind of wrapped in this banner that says "Power Your Dreams," And then you have little pull tabs and everything is compartmentalized. So it's like there's like an order to when you take out everything, and that's how you would set it up. And it's a lot like the PSVR actually. PSVR's packaging is fantastic.
Yeah.
Impossible to put back together, but the packaging
You're not
is really,
supposed
really good.
to. You're not
No,
supposed
you're not
to
supposed
ever
to
put
put
it back in the box.
It's the way it's like even each packaging had on the PSVR side of things, there was actual numbers. So like this is box number 1, then box number 2. So there was like almost like a Lego set instructions on how to set this thing up. So yeah, like it's weird that some things that Sony would sell, the packaging is top notch, and then on something like the PS5, which has this really beautiful aesthetic, be like thrown into this fucking box, which just like
I saw
wrapped
someone's
up in...
tweet mentioned it being like something you might buy in a flea market or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's actually a very apt description of like just the way it was packaged. Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of thrown together, and like maybe in time when supply is improved and stuff like that, maybe their packaging will improve, but I doubt it. The PS4 was badly packaged as well, so
yeah.
Definitely probably a cutting costs thing. But the other thing is with the Xbox, when you plug it in, it is noticeably faster than the PS5 on boot up, on shutdown, and it is noticeably quieter.
Yeah.
Like it is dead silent even within a game. You don't hear anything. I haven't really tried a disc yet, so I don't know how the disc performs in comparison to a PS5. I'm going to assume it's quieter. Nothing can be louder than the PS5's disc drive.
Jesus, yeah, it's surprisingly loud. Yeah.
It is, yeah. It's strange. So those would be the initial impressions. So and all pros on that side of things. With Game Pass being the number 1 pro, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's a little Game Pass machine, isn't it?
Pretty much. There's no point in getting an Xbox you don't have Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you're going to buy one, you might as well pay for Game Pass. We had our good friend Michael Howland on before. Check out Bullet Sponge, guys, on YouTube. And he was basically here to sell Game Pass to people.
Yeah.
But like, and he was the one that described it as a Game Pass machine. And I think he's right. I think that is exactly what it is. If you're planning on getting it to buy games on like disc, get yourself a PS5. I'm sorry, but if you're really into that idea of like paying, a subscription fee and just having shitloads of games that you can try out, and lots of really good games. I didn't even realize, I got to see some of the games available on the Game Pass. I didn't even realize how much was actually available.
Yeah,
and I suppose it's even a wider bracket with the fact that they have Bethesda now. There's a fuckload of games available, so it's a good deal.
It's a fantastic deal, yeah, because it's like the price. I don't know if you can buy a 12-month, maybe you can, but the price of it I think comes to maybe 2-3 games a year.
Yeah,
I mean the average gamer definitely spends
100%. Yeah,
that much.
That is worth it. 100%.
Yeah.
We put out on our Instagram, that you'd gotten it and just asking people what's the first, what are the games that should be played? Because I'm always curious about that. Like, if you get the new console, what is the first game to try? Right. Like when somebody gets a PS5, automatically I say, right, obviously there's some AAA games that you should get into at some point, but play Astro's Playroom first.
Yeah.
That's the first game you should play. So I was curious about that, what's the first game you should play on the Xbox? Someone did comment Grounded.
Okay.
As one of the ones we're trying, which is obviously only available to Xbox. But that's a multiplayer game. An online multiplayer game. So that really depends on, do you have someone else to kind of play it with you before you get the actual experience of it?
Yeah, but I always saw the Xbox as a primarily multiplayer machine anyway. I think that's going to change obviously with the new studio acquisitions, but their strength was in their mulmultiplayer all the time.
Right, because Halo was the face, right?
Yeah, either online multiplayer or co-op, because Gears of War was way more fun with a player.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Gears 2 is still one of the most fun co-op experiences
because I would
I've
say,
ever had.
if I was getting, if you're getting an Xbox, one of the first games to try out right now would be maybe Sea of Thieves with the new kind of Pirates of the Caribbean tie-in. But even with that, you kind of want to play with other players, so that's another multiplayer. But
So
starting next week though,
yeah.
Doom Eternal gets the next gen upgrade.
Oh, happy days.
So that will be definitely the game. Whether you get an Xbox or a PlayStation 5, Doom Eternal has to be a game to try out.
Yeah,
definitely. Because it's going to be the full, ray tracing. I don't think it's going to be 4K at ray tracing, but close to 4K ray tracing, 60 frames per second. Yes. Demon
Basically,
Slaying.
you need me or Eric or both to get an Xbox.
So that we play Sea of Thieves.
So there can be some brothers take voyages.
Well, just so you can play any game. They're all multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, there's plenty of single player experiences on there as well.
Because I mean,
I have a Plague Tale downloading as we speak. Just to give that another go, because I played that. I know you were really impressed by A Plague Tale Innocence, but I played it on the 1S through Game Pass, but I was really not impressed by its performance, its visuals, and actually I was going to cancel Game Pass. My Game Pass is up in September, and I was going to cancel it because I was like, I'm not using it. I haven't used it in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Any game that I wanted to play, I would just get it on the PlayStation, because even though it's there in Game Pass on the Xbox One, the experience was pretty poor, that it kind of ruins the experience of the game. So
because I remember you saying as well that Final Fantasy 15 was another one that you said looked
tried it, yeah,
dog shit.
It looked horrible.
Whereas like me and Eric both said, "Oh, this looks really great on the PS4 when we played it." So
yeah.
But now I'm definitely going to hold on to Game Pass, because it's definitely going to be a different experience. So even if people might, because I know the interface to the Series X is exactly the same as the Xbox One, right? So in many ways, when you turn it on, it doesn't feel like a next gen console. But play a game. Go play a game that you would have played on a previous gen, and you'll see the difference.
The Forza did actually look really good.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
That looks good. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, Chris. Did you show Chris Forza?
Yeah, he played the intro though.
Oh, you got to play the intro. I didn't get to see the intro.
Fucking blown away.
There was something that happened in Forza that blew me away. I didn't get to see the weather. Now that I only saw like sun and like the cars look really good.
Is it the rewind feature?
Well, that was the rewind feature. That was cool.
That's
too.
really cool. Yeah.
No, it was Adam. Was selecting something, or he was putting down like a waypoint.
Yep.
And the computer went, "Thank you, Adam," and we were both like, "What the fuck?
Wait, what?
This is some weird AI shit."
How the fuck did it know that? How the fuck did it do that? What?
I know. I actually know what that is now, Eric.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Because when Chris went and played the intro.
Yeah. When it picks a name at the beginning,
he selected a nickname at the beginning, and it was like saying, it said to him, he chose Road Warrior as the nickname, and it was thank you, Road Warrior. So it was actually because I selected my name at the beginning.
Yeah, you see, I had a look through, and they didn't have
my name was there
spelt right, you know.
Yeah,
I suppose phonetically it don't matter though.
That's not as good, because I thought it was like one of those things where it was
cool, though.
Like Fallout 4, because I know in Fallout 4, but there's particular names you can choose, and your robot will actually say them. So I remember, I think there's one time I was playing as the wife, the mother, and I chose the name as Eleanor. So I was like, that seems like an old timey name, and why not? And the robot actually said Eleanor, not just
wow. And you just typed that in,
I typed it in. There's certain names that you type in Fallout 4, and your robot would actually say them.
Wow,
that's crazy.
That's a bit creepy.
That is actually crazy.
Yeah,
that's so weird.
So I thought it was like that with Forza, but like better, in which I had every name. Goddamn fucking like.
There is a lot of names there to choose from. But I suppose Adam is quite a normal name. That's a bit common.
Yeah, it's common.
It's not quite like Mad Max fucking Road Warrior.
No.
Yeah. Well, I would like to say that I am sold, and I am going to get an Xbox Series X. I can't say when I'm going to get one, because as everyone knows, supply and demand is crazy. And also, it costs a bit of money, and there's a bit of saving up that has to be done and stuff. I'm not in like a huge rush to get it, but I do now want one, where previously I didn't necessarily want one. But having seen the lineup just the way it performs. Yeah, I want to get one. I think it'll be a lot of fun to play.
I will definitely get the fridge.
Oh, the fridge, 100%. But as well, I'm thinking about like another reason for wanting one now. Actually, is that the last few months, like this summer, is pretty good. A lot of games have like come out kind of all at once. There was Resi Village, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Intergrade. There's a few more on the way. Kena Bridge of Spirits. It's like there's loads coming now, but there was a huge chunk of time where it felt like there was nothing to play, and
yeah, because there wasn't really any.
Fork out the money.
There wasn't anything AAA either on PlayStation Plus.
No, right. So,
and even if you did download anything, it was on the PS5. It was full, and you probably had to delete something because it only it takes like 5 gigabytes of space.
So if you have an Xbox and you're already paying Game Pass, you've got a huge library of shit that you could just try out then during those kind of dry seasons, maybe if someone wants to call them that.
And they're all downloadable, aren't they, Adam?
Oh yeah, it doesn't stream through Game Pass. Part of the Game Pass subscription though is xCloud, which is only in beta at the moment, but that's their version of Stadia. And if once we're all vaccinated with 5G, we'll soon be able to actually take advantage of that.
100%,
right. Okay.
Man.
Yeah. So wait, does that mean the X Cloud, is that like extra storage up in the interwebs?
That's just you stream a game to your phone. Right, you plug your phone into the backbone, and you can stream any game that's on Game Pass to your phone. So I was playing Skyrim on my phone.
Take a shot, folks. The old Skyrim game.
Even like I was sitting right next to my modem, which is gigabit down, but I don't really know what it is like on my phone, like Wi-Fi wise. But I can go through. I would assume it'd be maybe 100 meg, maybe. And it was choppy and it was unplayable, and it's just like, so it's really not there yet. But
you can imagine that's only going to improve.
Yeah, 5 years from now. It's not an additional thing. You see, that's the thing. Like,
the fact that it's included is crazy.
Yeah, like if you want to stream a PS3 game to your PlayStation right now, you've got to sign up to the extra subscription service, which is PS Now. Right, so
it's shite.
That's on top of
that's very limited. Yeah.
Your PS Plus subscription, right?
Yeah.
But the Game Pass Ultimate, let's say, that's the one. There's no point in getting anything else other than Game Pass Ultimate, really. I think it's like 13 a month. But obviously if you buy maybe 3 months of it or whatever, it's a little bit cheaper that way. But that includes your Game Pass plus your Xbox Live subscription. That's included in that, so it's not the extra. You don't have to pay that extra 60. So you still get games with gold. You still get those 3 games every month, as well as your online, being able to play online, and xCloud will be included in that.
And EA Play as well, right?
And EA Play, which would normally be an extra tenner a month.
That's crazy. Because as well, like
Microsoft are 100% losing money on this service. They are.
Well, are they?
Yeah, they really are. Like, they are really banking on trying to get as many people onto it as they can, and then they'll be able to maybe start making money back. But right now, there's no way they're making money on this.
Which is why now is the time to take advantage, isn't it? Now is the time to really jump in, give it a go, and because maybe in the future they'll put it up.
It might get shit. It might become like Netflix. It might start bumping up the tiers to like 20 quid a month or something.
Because you'd imagine at some point it's like, what you do is you never bump it up in a big chunk. You go, right, it's going up by 99 cents a month.
Yeah.
Now, and and then slowly but surely after a while, it's like, wait a second, why am I paying 20 quid a month now? I used to pay 11 or something like.
Yeah.
Or they'll do
that's how these things work.
It'll be be 10 a month for 1080p games, but like 20 a month for 4K games or something like that. It's like,
or it's like, because isn't it like some new games you get are like put straight onto Game Pass? Yeah, so it's gonna be like Disney. So it's like you're already paying the 13 month. If you want to pay this new game, now you have to pay an extra.
Yeah, like 30 quid straight up front or something.
Yeah.
Oh, do you think you know what? To play Starfield, you have to pay the extra because it's like a big crazy AAA game. It's not just any kind of game. But look, fuck it. I'm excited now, and I want an Xbox. I think it's cool. It sounds cool. It boots up cool.
Boots
it's
up cool.
it does, but
Yeah.
this one is way cooler than the Xbox One. I had no
Oh,
interest in the
absolutely.
Xbox One.
There
This
was
is
there was
way cooler.
fuck all reason to get an Xbox One. In fact, one of the only reasons I got an Xbox One is to play a game that I never actually got around to play.
What was that game?
We Happy Few. It actually
I'll
came.
have to play it sometime.
I would have to play it sometimes. I think the reviews kind of got bad, but I really liked the look of it at the time. But
Is that the one
I thought it was an
that's-
exclusive. It turns out it came out on PlayStation. And I was like,
Oh, what's your then?
shit.
Is that the
buy
one
this
with
thing
has
for?
a certain animation style and everyone like drinks like a drug or something?
Yeah.
That makes everything look okay, but if you stop taking the drug, everything is actually not okay.
Well, I don't know
and
about
it's, like,
that, but
weird.
they're all wearing these white masks that have smiles on them, and the art style is
Yeah.
a lot like BioShock. That's
Yes.
just
Yeah, that's the one.
It's
Really dig
yeah,
that.
it is very BioShock because it's
Yeah, it is.
you're
I'll
either
get around
outs-
to it. It's on Game Pass, so
Yeah. Because it's actually that's like it's all fucked up. Like all the police officers are trying to hunt you down and shit.
yeah.
Ah,
Oh yeah,
nice,
no,
okay.
it's you.
You have to take
You
your happy
find
pills,
something.
don't you? And
I don't
then,
have to
then
take-
you stopped taking them one time, so it's a bit like Equilibrium.
I thought it was
Ah,
that
yeah,
you
yeah.
just you're like yeah, I mean maybe that's in it, but I thought I saw the start of it where it was almost like you were working in like a news area and you saw something and you weren't supposed to see it and then you went and told someone.
Yeah.
So it was almost like 1984.
Yeah, I mean
where
the
then
premise.
police-
It sounds great. So
It does.
Yeah.
It sounds cool. I remember seeing it. I personally wasn't crazy on the art style for the kind of game it was, but that's really a hot take thing. Like that's like, I think that with games where they have a very bold art style for their kind of serious topic, you're either gonna love it or you hate it. It's
Right,
like
right.
it's that kind of thing.
yeah,
However, again, if it was something on Game Pass, wouldn't you try it
definitely.
if you have it?
Yeah.
You know, so
would you try Deathloop on Game Pass?
It's not on the
I mean,
Game Pass, Eric.
no, that's a PS5
Oh, is it?
Not only is it
or
PS5,
PS4. Sorry, as a
not only is it a PS5, I think it's a forever PS5.
yeah. I think that was promised before the acquisition. you see.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever
That was
coming
promised to-
to Xbox.
And
which is-
Ghostwire Tokyo is another game that
Yeah.
Bethesda are making that's coming to the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is
So they might be the
look,
last few.
It's kind of cool that they're honoring those deals, though, right? Like in a way,
Yeah.
they
Well,
could
you'd
have
have
said,
to, right?
No, fuck.
You kind of have to
Do,
if
do
it's
you have to?
well, if it's
Well,
been
it'd be
paid and
contractual.
yeah. There's a lot of
Right.
legal shit to go through to pull
I
it from a
suppose.
platform.
I suppose.
But one thing I did notice is that I like before I got it, the Series X, I was playing. I tried out Sea of Thieves on my Xbox One,
Mhm.
and yeah, resolution wasn't great on it. Like, I mean, you can't really expect much from that machine at this point. But when I tried it on the Series X, it says enhanced for Series X, and I was like, okay, what? It wasn't totally clear about what did that mean, enhanced for Series X. And apart from resolution, I didn't really notice much of a difference. In fact, the textures weren't great. The shadow quality wasn't great. In fact, I was getting screen tearing on it. So there are a few issues with some of the games being, but I think Sea of Thieves is kind of known for being an incredibly buggy game anyway. I don't think that's plaguing every game, but I just think that enhanced for Series game logo isn't very clear as to what that actually means.
I suppose you'd have to try a few more games with that tag on it to see. Like, I think it will be interesting to see now if you boot up a Plague Tale.
Yeah, I'd be interested.
Are
to see
you
what
going to be
that's
like?
But I don't
actually,
think
this is
that's
noticeably different.
I don't think that's enhanced, but it would play in the I assume the 1X style of resolution, which will definitely be an improvement.
Yeah.
But one thing I did notice was that enhanced kind of title tag that's on the games, it's known as smart delivery. So let's say like with Doom Eternal, if I have that installed on my machine, it's only going to install an update to Doom Eternal to make it a Series X game, right? Whereas on the PlayStation side of things, with my Doom Eternal installed, it'll actually install a whole new Doom Eternal for a PS5. It's a separate game.
Yes, that's right.
And we've noticed that with the Final Fantasy VII Intergrade as well. It's a whole new game. So I found that can kind of, on one hand, the benefit of that is for us. I think that's a huge benefit on the PlayStation side of things, because now we can do a direct comparison. We can actually play the PS4 version and then play the PS5 version.
I see a difference. Yeah,
you wouldn't be able to do that with the Xbox without having like maybe two versions or two consoles or something like that.
Yeah.
But from a normal gamer perspective, it's less confusing to have this kind of smart delivery. So that way you don't have these two copies, because you could easily accidentally boot up the PS4 version of Final Fantasy and wonder why the door isn't changed.
Yeah, you can. You can. And actually, speaking of that, maybe we should move on to that. But just before we do, Eric, are you sold yet? Are you planning on getting an Xbox, or are you not sold yet?
No, I'm not really sold yet, to be honest.
You need a big game.
I mean, it was impressive. It was super fast. It was super quiet. Not gonna lie. Some of the games did look impressive. I mean, the Game Pass does sound class. Every time you mention Game Pass, when Michael Howland was sponsored by Game Pass and had to,
I think anyone who speaks highly of Game Pass is sponsored, or at least is promoting Game Pass in some way. We're obviously being paid off.
Sponsored by.
there was a moment as well, Adam. I think you mentioned, like, when you first were trying out Game Pass, you mentioned Game Pass a lot. We should probably start turning this into a drinking game, where every time we say Game Pass, you have to take a shot, much like with Skyrim.
Well, I think now is a good time.
Game Pass.
Oh, now is a really good time for a word from our sponsors. I'm only joking.
Here's some Raycon.
Okay, so you're not in yet. You need a big game.
Yet. Yes, I need that thing that
Starfield
me. You know what I mean? Hopefully, that'd be cool. That'd be nice. I like my space exploration. I like my stars. They're pretty.
Yeah. Okay, so those are thoughts and first-hand impressions on the Xbox Series X. Obviously, there's more to come.
A year later.
There's more to come. And of course, we'll get the chance to talk more about the Xbox and Xbox games in the future. But since Adam did mention Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, we also want to talk about that, because we have all not only had a chance to play it, but we've also had a chance to play through Yuffie's DLC Intermission. Okay, so just before we talk about that, I just want to get like your thoughts on the base game PS5. Maybe you haven't played through the whole thing, but if you've played a little bit of what are your thoughts on it so far? And obviously, guys, if you are listening, if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to jump down in the comments, let us know your thoughts so far, and also let Adam know what Xbox games he should be playing. And if you're listening to audio platforms, such base as social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take. So let's talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. What's the base game been like for you so far?
I actually haven't touched it apart from just checking that door. That's as much as I managed to check.
They fixed it.
Yeah, they did fix it.
The door. I'm not gonna lie.
Go on.
Underwhelmed. I look at that door and I'm going, that's it.
They could have had it look like that, right? I mean, it could have.
There's no reason it shouldn't have. Yeah. I wasn't underwhelmed. I was just whelmed.
I think the overhead looking up at Midgar, the upper plates, I think that is definitely improved, isn't it?
Yeah,
oh, there's
100%. Like the lighting that comes through the gaps is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah. So I think the first time I booted it up, because I played a bit of it on like chapter 5, 6, when you're underneath the plates,
right? And
you have to turn off all the lights. That really tediously annoying chapter.
Yeah.
So I played a bit of that, and then I also played from chapter 1 to chapter 3, right? Okay. So I played the whole start. When I first booted up, I was like, "Oh my god, holy shit! Look at the fucking lights! Like the sheer contrast of the blacks and
Jesus, okay." You should see it on a HDR TV.
Yeah, I was about to say, Eric, if you should see it on my telly, like you will be blown
I'm sure,
away.
like it felt like I was playing it on a HDR TV. That's a good look to me. Like, just the
the black levels are definitely improved then.
Yeah, and then it was just the lights gleaming up, like there was the big vibrant red light from the big sun lamp being turned off, and then the other lights and everything like reflecting off each other. Like I just like, wow, this looks amazing. And then when I went to do the bombing mission run, for me, honestly, it was the lighting was the biggest improvement.
Yeah,
loading.
The loading is really fast.
Yeah.
I'm playing through it. I'm actually on chapter 9 now. I'm actually playing through the whole story again. It's definitely, the lighting is definitely improved. There's,
Are you playing in 60 frames or
I believe I'm playing 60.
Yeah. Because that was quite noticeable as well.
Yeah,
obviously.
Definitely. Just like there's certain like patterns that look better, or textures. The textures are improved, right? Definitely, 100%.
Because like even like the smoke after when you're in the alleyway
I was
after
about
the
to
bombing
point that
mission.
out. The smoke looks fucking brilliant. After
It's-
when you're doing the bombing run,
Yeah.
you're first in like the when you have to like make your way through a little sewer or something. Not only do the puddles look fantastic, I have a big thing about puddles in games lately. I'm like, I always check out if the puddles look good. I think actually A Plague Tale was the first time I noticed some really good puddles, and I was like, from now on, I'm checking puddles in games. But yeah, I noticed the smoke. I was like, it wasn't this smoky in the PS4 version.
No,
This
I
is
don't think there was
crazy.
any smoke in the PS4
There was a
version. Or at least
tiny bit, but not.
Tiny bit, but
this is like a whole new level, man. It's like
it's a
my
whole
God.
amount of smoke, like.
Yeah, it was smoky.
But it does. No, it looks good. It really adds to the like what's just happened and the kind of how much damage has actually been caused. And people are coughing, and now it's more believable because you kind of barely see the team in front of you even from the smoke. Like it's really, really good. And just generally, like particle effects and stuff look really good. I feel like it's performing much better. And so if someone hasn't played the game before and they have a PS5, I do think this is the definitive version to get now.
Yeah.
You'd be mad not to, and plus you get extra content with that Yuffie DLC anyway.
And it has to be the finest Final Fantasy.
What do you mean?
Well, like out of all the, especially out of like let's say post 10,
Yeah.
like out of all the kind of 3D based JRPGs that Square Enix offers, like Final 7 Remake has to be the fucking best one to jump into.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, since 10.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's some.
And then you can get debatable. There's something magical about some of those older ones.
Well, no, yeah, I'm just I meant
yes,
like
no, you're
with the more linear based, like between 12,
like
13,
12, 13, even the online ones, 15 as well.
Yeah,
which I enjoyed, but like this is a whole new level. Like this is the cinematic quality.
So if you liked
of this
any
game.
of them, I mean, this is obviously the best one.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Someone's gonna like.
What are you laughing at?
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Like it is the best one.
No,
It
that's
is the
just
fucking best one.
That is just in my head though. So something like, no, you fucking you guys obviously never played this or something. You haven't actually played 12. 12 was obviously really well loved.
Yeah.
I mean,
I might give 12 another shot.
The Zodiac of Age is
because
available
it's on
Game
Pass, so
you might as well see like
take a shot.
Was I wrong? Yeah, take a shot for Game Pass. Okay, so those are kind of, I suppose, as much non-spoiler thoughts as we can give. Did anyone do chapter select to give that fight with Vice a go yet?
No, I've only
I haven't gotten
I've only played the intermission because after I had to get onto other titles before.
Yes.
I'll return back to.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I haven't done that yet either because I am playing through the whole thing. I kind of want to see what it's like when I get there.
Yeah.
Like when it falls in. So we can't talk about that just yet. But I suppose
cool, though.
Going
Cool,
forward
Dad,
for the rest of the of this episode, there will be spoilers for both the base game of Final Fantasy VII Remake and also for Intermission. Because to talk about Intermission openly, we have to spoil it. It's end game content. It really is. And so it's designed to be played after you've played the actual base game. So if you've played Intermission, great. If you don't care or if you've watched people's streams, you already know what happens, great. Welcome to the discussion. But just a fair little spoiler warning going forward because we don't want to ruin stuff on you if you're waiting to actually play it. We know that the PS5 is still short in demand. This might be something you're actually waiting to get your hands on. So just fair warning. So, Intermission. First of all, what do you think of Yuffie, guys?
Spot on.
Yeah, that is
again.
Yuffie, isn't it?
It's another one where you're just like, that's what she sounded like in my head. How did you know that?
Yeah, she is so anime.
There are certain bits though where it's just like, oh man.
Oh, I mean,
dialogue.
Yeah. What's with the chow beans, right?
What's with that?
The
thing I noticed most about, like, I didn't enjoy playing with Yuffie as much as I did with the other party, I have to say.
Okay.
Like I thought it was fine, and I felt I was using the ninjutsu kind of materia style of things or the magic the most, and that's all I used, just basically assess and dash, and I didn't really use anything else to get through the entire mission. So I didn't really get that much of a chance to explore with her. But one thing that came to mind was I thought was like, when you're at the beginning, you can throw your shuriken to hit the crates to get stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, what if, like, going forward, like, I know we'll probably get into speculation, but just kind of quickly touch on it. If there's like going to be like this almost like Lego games type of thing where there's going to be certain areas that if she was in your party, you could access them. So you might have to
swap into her to.
Well, maybe she's not there. Maybe you have to go somewhere to get her back into your party. So it encourages revisiting some of these areas to access certain points to be able to, explore new areas. And I thought like that could be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, I thought as well. Her like, there's not many platforming moments in these games, but her level of platforming versus the like base game level of platforming was much better, much more fluid, that I was like, that'd be cool going forward.
Yeah, like a lot of the traversal is a lot more exciting, I think, and interesting.
I found her combat to be kind of a mashup of Barrett and Tifa, which for me worked really well. Like, she was as fast as Tifa, but then she had those ranged attacks like Barrett. So I had a great fun with Yuffie, I have to say. I really enjoyed playing as her. Eric, how did you find her combat?
I thought it was really fast and fluid. I thought it was a great way to keep shape.
Sure. Yeah, sure. That's good insight.
I mean, I like the puzzle solving with her. I thought that was. I think that goes in with the sort of traversing. Like, you have to try cross, and there's a lever over there, so you throw your star, it hits the
I thought that was
comes
cool.
back, and then the yoke turns, and then you can like hit it again, and it opens up, like it turns the yokes again, so you can go off to somewhere else, get a chest and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I did like all that stuff. I like the sort of what the synthesis attacks
or synergy attacks.
Oh,
synergy attacks.
I
did
couldn't
actually
really
like
get a
them.
hand of them at all. Like
Neither could I, but when I did it, it was awesome.
Yeah, I got it towards
great.
the end. Towards the end, I was like, okay, now I get it.
But like, I mean,
throughout, I didn't quite understand it.
That would be cool to implement that with everyone else.
I
like,
imagine that's going to go forward. Yeah.
I wonder if Red 13 is going to be that then, rather than a playable character.
Oh, he has to be playable.
No, he's got to be playable. I think like it's like the first thing you're going to look forward to once we finish that Nibelheim flashback is jumping straight into Red 13.
Yeah, I hope so.
For a battle.
Because I imagine as well, like with Katza as well, or Katza, or whatever way you pronounce his stupid name.
Hey, she.
Kate She.
Okay.
She.
Is that how it's pronounced? I don't know. Yeah, I know you. I know. We all know who you mean.
Like that could be synergy based attacks. You don't have to play as him.
Yeah, funny enough, he's the only one I don't mind not playing as.
Yeah.
But I
not a fan favorite.
I honestly think that they will make all of them playable. I really do.
Well, I think they should, but I'm just like I couldn't help but like going through this intermission, just constantly analyzing like what does this mean going forward, right? Like why introduce the synergy thing and not let you play as Sonon? Like what's the point of that? The same with the climbing things, right? What came to mind for me was that's on your way to Mount Coral or something like that, isn't it? It's like don't you have to climb the
Remember climbing the train tracks?
True train tracks, yeah. So like that's that mechanic, and so
or even when you get the hop up from the dolphin and you're climbing up the tower to Mount Junon.
Yeah, that's there too.
Or not Mount Junon, sorry,
or,
to just the
Junon
Harbor, right?
Yeah.
God, fuck's sake, Chris. How could you get that wrong?
A fan. But yeah, no, like the possibilities there, and also, can I just say, graphically, it's fucking gorgeous.
It's
like as soon as it opened up, I was like, wow.
What's your favorite fight in that intermission?
Does the 4 Condor mini missions count?
They're great, aren't they?
They're fucking brilliant.
They were excellent.
What a great way to like that. That's definitely like I hope they keep that going forward because that's this versions of Gwent, isn't it? It's like
that's gonna be the next.
I can see this being a mobile game.
Easily.
Well, Gwent isn't Gwent a mobile game? Well, it's not
Gwent
game.
is, but I can see this 4 Condor one being released as a mobile game.
Like it's It's gonna be like in the middle at the end, right? Let's say they did play beat for beat the original. Okay, so you have the fucking meteor coming down, you have to stop it, and then you go into some random house. Hey, want to play some Fort Condor? Like that's what's gonna happen.
Or the final battle would be to defeat Sephiroth in a game of Fort Condor.
In a game of Fort Condor. That's how gaming works, right? I think 100% Fort Condor is going to continue.
Yeah,
I think
that was class.
I think it is going to be all over the world, and there is going to be ranked levels, and it's going to be that ongoing mini game.
There'll be like a world championship in Fort Condor.
Yeah, like, but think about most Final Fantasies have something like that. Like Final Fantasy 9 had this card game you can play, and you could challenge people to around the world.
And the
I think 8
Blitzball
had something
10.
similar. 10 had Blitzball.
Yeah.
So they really can continue this World Fort Condor minigame thing. That's easy to do, and it's such a good idea. And what they could do is that, like, they could have, even though it's called Fort Condor, they could have new boards that look slightly different or have different terrains or different rules.
Yeah. I mean, you can actually get, well, yeah, you get new boards, don't you? Oh no, that's just for new abilities, isn't it? During it.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that you were like you collected lots of different people, and then you were able to collect like different boards that gave you like new powers. Yeah, and then you use the powers to like help you or destroy your enemy. Oh, that last one against Chadley though, fucking hell! I thought I was so gonna lose.
I couldn't do it. I could not do it.
Yeah, well, I was playing it on easy because I wanted to get through it all before spoilers hit. Too. So it's different experience on easy, to be honest with you.
Well, I was playing on easy as well, but like. Yeah, I really thought I was going to lose, and I managed to get one guy passed onto Chadley the border, and then I planted a fucking barracks, and then that's kind of how I won. Like, but we were at like it was a proper no man's land. It was just at those two bridges. It was just constant, like.
Well, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I fucking kicked Chadley's fucking ass, you little shit. No problem. Whooped him. I whooped him. I did take it to as confirmation, pretty much. I know those side characters are there just because Yuffie can interact with them, and it doesn't cause any kind of effect going forward. But I took it as confirmation that those characters are definitely continuing into the franchise, like Roach
Chadley and
Chadley are in the sequel.
Yeah,
Happy
Turtle dude is going to be in the sequel.
Oh man, that heavy metal theme of the Happy Turtle
the Happy
jingle.
Turtle tune.
What the fuck? This is some Devil May Cry shit.
I was actually a little disappointed though that I couldn't go to Walmart and see the Happy Turtle that he's talking about, like the Happy Turtle of Midgar.
Oh yeah,
yeah. To actually see it, I do feel like
we were going to go to Walmart.
There's a chapter missing, isn't there, in between?
Yeah, there's a beginning and an end, and there's no middle.
Yeah, it's a bit strange.
There even was an interesting opportunity, I thought, just afterwards. Obviously, you're not thinking that as you're playing because you don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
But as soon as it was over, I was like, oh man, wouldn't it have been cool if you had to like go to one of the slums that we've never seen? And it could have looked like, and they could have had a new area that we've never seen. Because there's no reason to go back to Midgar now in the story until fucking game 5 or however many of these there's going to be. But like, they don't go back to Midgar. So there would have been a great opportunity to show off a very different kind of slum sector. That maybe you have to go to get something that's going to help you break into Shinra. You know what I mean? Like, so
or even like, even if without doing that side of stuff, but there's definitely a chapter missing where like there was the second branch of Avalanche, right? There should have been more involvement with doing missions with them because Wutai is helping them to some degree.
Yeah, and it felt weird to introduce them for such a short period.
Yeah.
And they were gone, weren't they? They were just.
But also I just think to build up a relationship with this Avalanche crew, so that when Sector 7 fell, there's more to like. I just didn't feel she built up any kind of relationship to warrant the kind of like. Obviously, it's sad, but to the extent that she was now, obviously she's sad over something else as well, but.
You could say it, Adam. We're doing spoiler talks.
But it's just that I just think that there should have been, like, she should have known a few more people so that hits harder.
Yeah,
I agree.
No, it was a bit short. They had 3 chapters that would mean because 2 chapters feels a little, like you never really do a duo. You do a trilogy. You know what I mean? You don't do a duology.
Yeah.
Do
two
films.
You never do 2 of them.
Yeah, you only do 1 or 3.
I don't know. Hellboy. Nah, that's not the. I know, I get you. I get you. I'm with you. 100%. I do think though that the way, first of all, her performance in that end sequence, while it is fast and it is a bit quick, and you kind of just have to go along with it.
Yeah.
It is really strong. Like she's really fucking good, and seeing the plate fall that time with the music,
it looks fantastic.
looked amazing. And was stronger than in the actual game, where that's one of my complaints in the actual game, where the sector is actually falling.
Yeah, it's weird. It should have been. It should have been a swappy basically on how that's dealt with.
Pretty much, but I also thought it was really interesting now that basically, two of the other party members saw the plate fall, Katsit and
Yuffie. Yeah.
It's just gonna be interesting that when they all meet, they actually, and then obviously Cloud. Barrett and Tifa were there, and also Earth was trying to stop it happen. They always share that tragedy in common, which is an interesting thing. But that because in the original, obviously, Yuffie and Katsu had nothing to do with that section of the game. So I do think that's kind of cool.
Spoiler.
Sorry, Katsu did. Yeah,
Katsu.
I just mean that when you meet Katsu as a character, as in the puppet, it never brings that up really. You know, we know from Reeve's side, but we never hear it from Katsu. The puppet. So I thought that it's cool that Yuffie saw that at a moment that was already tragic, and the music there was really good, and the music throughout, the fucking music in these fucking games. Oh my! I was like, how did you make Yuffie's theme so fucking good?
But that entire
ridiculous.
You know that end, the end sequence, I suppose, of chapter 2 is like really strong. It's like it's just like battle after battle after battle. Like I was like, oh my god, is this my Tom's ever gonna get a break?
Yeah, because I think my favorite battle was, because you did ask that and we went tangential, but
I think
what
was your favorite fight?
Yeah, I think it was in there. I think it was the bit with the simulator, and then there's actually a ball that's been simulating the enemies that you have to fight, because I just thought it was really creative and cool.
It kind of looked a bit like a Denova a little bit, didn't it?
That weird big fucking monster thing. Yeah. That was probably my favorite fight. I just thought that was really cool. Yeah. What was yours?
Nero. I thought that was so fucking cool.
Yeah,
like
sick.
that kind of had like a psychomantasy vibe to the whole thing.
Yeah, the music was like haunting, right?
Yeah, and the way he I was actually expecting them to animate bodies and send them towards you, but I just think that's such a great introduction of that character, I guess, and I hope we get to see more of him, because it's obviously he's from Third to Surface, but it's kind of hard to take any character seriously from that game. But in this new, being introduced in this way, it's like now I'm excited to learn about these characters. But he just looks great. It's great.
He looks brilliant. I love the effects of like the kind of darkness that he has.
Yeah.
Eric, what was your favorite fight?
It was actually probably between Nero or the giant centipede robot.
Oh yeah, Gigantopede. That was cool.
Gigantopede, yeah.
That was a cool fight.
That's quite an easy one, wasn't it?
It was enjoyable though.
Yeah.
I was able to summon my first.
I thought Scarlet was probably the
Ramu,
the hardest one.
Scarlet was pretty tough. Summoning Ramu, fucking awesome, and actually fighting him as well. To get him from Chadley. It was tough, but it was cool. I was like, this is great. I'm enjoying the shit out
I
of
do
this.
agree though with you, Chris, when I think it was when Intermission was first announced and the first showed off gameplay and the first showed off Ramu, that we should have had Leviathan, considering Leviathan is from Wutai. The base game should have had Ramu.
Yeah, like I suppose maybe like that wasn't planned ahead really in that way, I suppose. But if there would have been foresight there, I do think it would have been more fitting that Yuffie gets Leviathan just because of that Wutai connection. It would have been pretty cool. But it's not the end of the world. It's still cool to have all these summons. But I'm happy to see Ramu, because Ramu was always one of my favorite summons from the base game of Final Fantasy VII, the original one. So it's cool. It's cool to have him here. And it was awesome when he was brought back in Final Fantasy 15. He was so fucking cool in that. So every time I see him now, I'm like, oh wow, look how fucking cool he looks.
Yeah, I mean, like all the gods in Final Fantasy 15 were cool. It's just the summoning system in 15 wasn't good, I don't think.
No, you don't get to use it even as often as you do in 7 Remake.
Nah, she took me up until the end of the game before I summoned one thing. I was like, what the fuck is this crap? Yeah, I the first summon I had in it was Shiva
All right,
at the
okay.
end of the game. I was like,
Which is a
well,
scripted moment. You have to do that.
no. I
Oh, sorry,
I
in-game
mean a
play?
random summon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got you now.
Could you imagine that? Yeah, it's like I only get the summon Bahamut, which is scripted. You have to do that.
I would be
What
interested
is-
to, like I said, like I do think there needs to be 3 chapters and more
I agree.
connection. But like, it seems as though this is actually fine for players who are familiar with Yuffie. But I'd love to know what new, like this is for new players. This is their first introduction to Yuffie. Like how they felt. Do they get the character? Do they? It'd be interesting.
Are they really put off by her?
Yeah.
And
What
how
do
anime
they? What do they
she is?
think of her?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I mean,
interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, I think when people are picking up a JRPG, you're going to expect that at least. Like, it's actually quite toned down for a JRPG.
Oh, to be honest, like, and even the base game of 7 Remake, it is refreshing how non-anime a lot of those interactions are. And even how much bad language is actually in it. I'm actually like, I don't know, some of it must have went over my head the first time, because replaying it, I'm like, did they just say that? I can't believe they said that. Holy shit. Like, Madam M at one point strings off a whole bunch of curse words. And I was like, fuck, I don't remember that. I was like, is that new? Or but I know it's not. But so it's just, I kind of get it. I expect cringe, unfortunately. I don't always want it, but I expect it. And with Yuffie in particular, I quite expect it. The thing that surprised me was her emotional reaction at the end of her chapter, which is something I didn't expect from Yuffie.
No, that was very good scene.
And I was like, okay, so she's going to have those weird moments, and you just, unfortunately, that's part of that's, packet and parcel with her character. But to see that other side of her, and even to see her like on the train with Sona and be like, I'm not your sister, and she was like don't mention my father. Like, there's moments where she's like really kind of short with people.
I think
seeing that go forward is going to be interesting. Like, I can't wait to see her and Barrett. I think they're going to clash.
Yeah.
I really do.
Do you think Sonon will return as something?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just really
actually.
liked the moment when they're on the train and he's kind of got his arms kind of around her a little bit, like to kind of protect her to some degree from all the lads on the train, and she's like, don't need protection or whatever, and then it's like mirrored again on his death.
Yeah, mirrors his death.
He actually covers her in the same manner. I thought that was really nice. But yeah,
these guys fucking know what they're doing, right?
yeah. But I'm wondering now, like the way it ends with her saying Yuffie wants you, like she's wanting. It's like as if she's going to try and recruit people, so that she could take down Shinra. I'm wondering, are they going to then have that she steals the materia at all, or is she actually just going to try and recruit Cloud to her crew or something like that? I'd be interested to see how they do that interaction.
Yeah, I would as well. It seems like their interaction will be different to the original.
Yeah.
Because it would have been pretty fun to fight her, actually. I think that would be, because in the original you do fight her before you have any talk.
Well, like, it might still play out like usual, but her interaction, her dialogue might be now after the fight might be her wanting to recruit them or something, or
yeah, like it could be a thing of like she tests you to see how strong you are, and then she's like, okay, you could join me on my mission. They're like, what are you talking about? Like, cause she's the youngest of them.
It's like,
she's only 16.
I'll take you.
Yeah, you could come with me. It would be funny if at points, because in that final credit scene, which like holy shit, but Barrett talks about how he's the leader. It'd be really funny if he keeps saying how he's the leader and Yuffie talks about how she's the leader.
Yeah.
I could see the two of them clashing,
but in like a kind of cute way, maybe.
Yeah, well, in a funny way. And then I see when Sid finally comes onto the scene, it's gonna be fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
it's gonna be so fucking funny. I hope. Sid is gonna be an interesting character when they get to him. Like,
he's a big.
He is messed
bastard.
He is, and I hope they lean into that. I hope they make him really like. You're like, I don't know if I like this guy. Like, he's a bit of a fucking arsehole.
Yeah.
But also complicated.
But let's talk about that ending now. Looks like
Well, it actually
talking about
ended.
that
It
ending,
ended
yeah?
where we expected it to end, didn't it? Like, or at least it reassured where the next part's going to begin.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we're
So-
definitely starting with that Nibelheim flashback, and then we're in Cam, and we're moving
But
on.
we're not. Well, hold on. We're not definitely starting the Nibelheim flashback.
We are definitely starting with
We're
the Nibelheim
definitely
flashback.
starting in Cam, and I liked all their talking and
We're
everything.
definitely. I mean, the
on
opening is
The
going
opening
to be Nibelheim.
is the Nibelheim flashback.
No
It has
opening
to
is
be.
going to be in the
'Cause now they're
truck
at Cam,
with Sephiroth.
Yeah.
And it's because you're really low powered. It's a great way to have a tutorial, start you off again, straight into.
Do you know what?
What?
You ready for this?
Yeah.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
The menu is going to be raining, the back of the truck, Cloud sitting there with Sephiroth opposite him, and then you hit new game and it just launches straight into it.
Yeah.
That's going to be the fucking menu.
Yeah.
That's going to be sick.
This
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
are
But
sick.
I like
This are
the-
sick.
This are sick. I did like the interactions between all of them when they were roaming around the road, and I liked actually the detail in the chocobo that Yuffie was
Yeah, it looked
riding on
good.
and everything.
So I thought some of the stuff in that was a little unnecessary, but I get it. They're trying to like build banter with the party as they move on
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah,
The rain on their clothes looked fucking amazing. The
yeah.
characters look incredible. Like there's a close up on Barrett, and it's like, holy shit, he
Yeah, it
looks
looks good,
fucking
didn't
amazing.
Well, I mean that was CGI, but it's still pretty good CGI.
No, I
he?
know
No,
that, but-
I don't think so. I think that's game. That's game engine.
That's just I think that's just the PS5's fucking beautiful. Like they're just saying, let's show you these guys again. This is what's coming. Like this is
yeah,
like, this is
that's
what the next
that's
game
what
is
their
going to look
current
like,
engine is looking like. I think. Yeah.
which is sick.
Either way, pretty.
Pretty.
I like it. Fucking, they had the chocobo farmer guy in it, and I was like, it's a chocobo
It's like-
farm.
That's exactly what he looks like.
Yeah.
That's what he sounded like. That's how I imagined it. How do they know
Oh.
that?
Yeah.
I love this game so much.
That was actually quite nice. I actually quite liked beating him because it's like now you don't really need to go there. Like
do.
You do.
I'm,
But at least he's going to be a familiar face.
yeah.
Yeah, now it's gonna be like, oh, you guys, or whatever,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
gonna get talked to him,
He'll
and they need
gi-
to chuck a bow to get past that.
So
I
then
can't wait to
he'll
see the
give you-
Midgar Zola.
He'll give you a task where you have to go try and catch a chocobo, and it's going to be fun. And then
Oh, yeah, there's gonna be that bonus content and stuff. And
Yeah.
even like, I imagine, right, you'll do your Nibelheim flashback. You'll wake up in Cam. You can go get some supplies around Cam. You can play Fort Condor in the inn against somebody before you hit the road. You know what I mean? Then you hit the road. Your first big battle is with Yuffie. You know, like this is the shit that kind of like I feel like they're laying it out this way.
you think
and it's-
I don't think Yuffie will be there. She'll be on the other side.
Do you think they'll do that?
Yeah, once you get through the Mithril Mines, you meet up with Yuffie, and
Yeah, you know what? They'll spend a bit of time with you getting used to Red's gameplay before they bring Yuffie into the party next.
Yeah.
Then they'll split you into 2 parties of 3.
2 separate missions.
Yeah.
Oh shit, man.
Because
Oh,
that
shit.
way everyone's getting an equal amount of time, everyone's leveling up at the same time, and also they're covering more ground. They can do more stuff.
Yeah.
You make Tifa one leader and you make Cloud the other. Like that's what I think. Because you need to Aerith needs to spend a lot of time at Cloud.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
so we can all cry again and be all like, stop telling us not to fall in love with you. It makes us immediately do it more.
You've a lot to learn. Well, actually, speaking of love,
Mm.
Zach
Yeah. What the
is
fuck?
now 100% alive and does not die later in the fucking rain.
I don't know.
He's alive in his own little
I don't
timeline
know.
or something,
I don't
right?
know.
What do you mean you don't
I
know?
don't know.
You know.
Right there.
Did it.
What? All right. What do you make of it, Adam? I'd love to hear this. It's Kojima. It's Kojima.
Well,
It could be.
I was like, right. Obviously, when you see Zack, it's like, what the hell is going on? And then he's like, pondering about like what's he gonna say to Aerith, and he opens the door, and everyone's in the church, and it's like, what the fuck is happening here? And it looks like he sees someone, and then says Aerith.
I
Yeah.
thought he was just looking and he was just Aerith, like wondering where is she? What's going on here?
Maybe.
Or...
I think like could be either of those two things, but his look is almost as though he sees someone. But behind him, when he opens that church door, behind him
is a blue box.
It's completely white.
Yeah.
Completely white.
Very bright. It's very bright.
Very bright, kind of the way it's shining past him is really, really white.
Very sunny, like, you know?
No, not sunny, like actual white. And in Advent Children, that's an image we see a lot of Zack being dead, but somewhat having some form of interaction with Cloud from some form of afterlife. He's in that church with Aerith, and that white light is behind him. I do think he's dead. I don't think this is a separate.
You still think he's dead?
I don't think this is a separate timeline at all. I think this is actually Zack's journey
through the afterlife,
and how he ends up having. I think he is going to be able to interact from there at certain points. I think he could become a summon.
Whoa!
Oh, he's going to become the first knight of the round.
Oh! That's fucking badass. Okay, Eric.
Or it's a separate timeline thing. I don't know. I just don't buy the separate timeline thing.
Eric, I want to hear yours.
I think it's separate timeline. I think Aerith is either dead or a lot older, and somehow she has aged really quickly, and that's why he's like, Aerith, like you look like Aerith, but you're very old. How did that happen? And some like weird Dorian Gray shit.
Or she's a child.
Oh, she never aged at all.
Because there's a lot of children in there.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, what the fuck?
And they're all they're crying, right? Something's happening, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think Aerith is dead.
And, you know, obviously Sector 7's not fucking destroyed.
Yes.
It's above it.
Yeah.
So unless this is like...
So it's not the plate.
Yeah, so it's like, this could be a resetting part of the remake. Is that it's a younger Aerith.
Well, now this is the Sector 5 slums, but timeline-wise, Sector 7 plate hasn't fallen yet. We would assume.
But you can see it, right? You can see the plate. What way is
I didn't see it that closely. Sorry.
Oh,
like above it, no?
Well, it wouldn't be above Sector 5.
No, but like in the distance, like you can see all the like.
Yeah,
which way does it go? Does it go 5, 6, 7 or 5, 6, 7? Like which way does it go?
I think it's the second one. If you're listening to audio, you have no hope knowing what we just said.
Yeah. Where on the pizza is the 7?
I think
pizza.
that
go on.
She, I don't know, is dead, and that's what he's staring at. He's staring at her corpse, maybe lying on the altar, or people are bringing her out or something for the sermon, like in a coffin. And that's what he's staring, and that's what he's saying.
And that's why the kids are crying, right? Because she had a great relationship with him.
Oh, they're not kids, are they?
That's why everyone's
crying.
Everyone's crying.
Yeah,
she dead, and it's now this point of like, if Aerith is to live, Zack must die. But if Zack is to live, Aerith would die.
I am also of the opinion that Zack is alive in his own separate timeline. Aerith is dead. She's either dead or she's gone. She's gone somewhere, and he goes looking for her. Either way, I think Zack's journey continues, and eventually there's a convergence. I do think eventually Zack will come into the timeline of.
Oh my god, it'd be like an older Joel, like Cloud, like fucking Zack, and he's gonna have like a beard and shit.
No,
in his hair.
No. I don't think that's gonna happen at all. I think he's gonna look just as pretty as he does now, because that's what everyone wants, and I think he's gonna fight Sephiroth with Cloud. I think eventually, I wouldn't be surprised if when Cloud gets kind of defeated, you know, and he goes down into the live stream and he has to like find himself or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if they do a thing where like the Buster Sword gets destroyed.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he has to find himself and realize who he is. And in the end, in like the final fight, Zack is there with the Buster Sword. But Cloud in the final game actually has to have the fucking sword from Advent Children. You have to like get those swords, and if you get them all, they turn into the big fucking, what's it called, the Forger Blade or something like that. And it's like he has to make his own sword because he has to be himself now.
Yeah.
And he becomes Advent Children Cloud by the end of this.
stop.
And him and Zack side by side take on and kill Sephiroth finally.
Or,
That's where I think they're going with this.
Or it's gonna be like
Or-
this badass cutscene where it's like there's like no hope and shit, and like Cloud's Buster Sword is shattered into pieces, and he just can't. So he's about to do like fucking his Omni Slash or whatever, right? And he's got all these all the other swords, similar to the Aventurine style Omni Slash, but the last slash is Zack throwing the Buster Sword. And he catches it midair.
Fuck yeah, man! You know it's gonna be epic, whatever they're leading up to, right? You know.
Yeah, I mean the end of Remake was epic as hell. Like,
it was epic as hell. They have to go bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
I do think. I did say it to Adam earlier. I think that the inclusion of Deep Ground at all, without them getting like killed off in Intermission, means that they could possibly be villains hunting you in part 2. Shinra might release them going forward, because in this it wasn't a thing like they were keeping them a secret. Scarlet actually lets Nero out to kill Yuffie, so it makes sense to me that they might go right, and they could be like different bosses you fight along the way and kill, and maybe do kill, because it's like now they're expendable. We're not leading up to Dirge of Cerberus. That's not what we're leading up to.
Yeah. I think
we can do this.
It's interesting.
I think there's 5 of them all together, the bosses.
Oh yeah, from Deep Ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's definitely plenty. Like if they are gonna be hunting you down, it's plenty of bosses.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I think they could easily do that, because the role of the Turks changes as the games go on as well. Like they become way less of a villain, and kind of like their alliances kind of change. And as you're looking for Sephiroth, you kind of need something else, especially if the games are going to have final bosses at certain stop points, and at any point. This is a good opportunity. Like Vice could easily be a final boss. Do you know what I mean? Like it could be. So they could do something like that. So that could be interesting.
If the story is to split into 2, right, you could actually have it that one story is fighting Deep Ground while the other one is hunting Sephiroth.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like if the party splits in 2, and
it's mental how like, because we're like here thinking how are they going to cover everything, and here they are adding more.
Right. Yeah. You're like what? The
fuck?
But I think what they're doing as well, though, is like, in some ways, it's clever. If you know that to do this and to do it justice, to blow this world up really big, right, and make it a real living world, means you have to stop the game at points that maybe in the story are not good points to stop. So now you need an element that at any point you could have a climax. Like I was saying to Adam earlier that I feel like if they start in Nibelheim in the next game with a flashback, that they should also end in Nibelheim. Maybe that's too much. I don't know.
I just can't see how
what I
you're
mean
gonna
is
cover all that.
When they first get to Nibelheim, right? Like literally to get Vincent, which means Vincent won't be playable. That's what I'm trying to say. Until the next part or whatever. So much like the Red 13 thing. But I feel like when he gets there, that's a good point to have a big twist. The game starts with Nibelheim burning down. The game ends with him realizing it's not burnt down, and now he's actually doubting his own memories. And you could throw Vice in as a final fight, especially if you get Vincent. They're doing that.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to think like this. So, like, I mean, I suppose in the first continent, you don't have to spend too long in Junon Harbor, I guess, and you don't have to do Fort Condor, so that's that out.
No.
So it's the Chocobo thing. Mithril Mines is quite. Is that what it's called? Mithril Mines?
Yeah, but that's a dungeon. That's not like an open world either, is it?
No, it's not. But it's still, I can imagine it taking quite a bit.
No, but that would be the equivalent
it's a chapter,
of
right?
It'd be the chapter. It'd be the going underneath the plate or the train tracks or the whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But then once they get over to the other side, it's Costa del Sol. Then they're going to. Is Coral after that?
Coral, the Gold Saucer, and then Nibelheim.
Yeah, that's quite a chunk.
It is quite a chunk.
Quite
but I feel like
considering last time
we can't end it at the Gold Saucer.
Well, last time when we were having this conversation, we thought it was going to end on the ship going from Junon.
Yeah, but it could. But also, that's not enough there. That's not enough of a game.
Well, it could be, considering how massive they made Midgar alone. So
yeah, depending on the content they throw in, it could be.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
It would be nice. I'd love to get to Nibelheim. That would be
amazing
as well, because I'd love to see the Gold Saucer.
I would love to have the whole game in just like one game.
See, I think as well they will be in the next game almost not in a rush, but I do think they'll want you to get to the Gold Saucer, because I'm thinking what's their next wall market?
But they could do anything with Junon. They could have Junon to be an explorable place. You see, they could have all kinds of shit.
It could be huge.
Well, there is a gambling area in there. I remember one time I was exploring Junon, and when I was playing on the PS1, well, not PS1, I was playing the PS1 version on PS4. They have the Turks were in there gambling. And I was dressed as a shitter soldier, so they recognized me. But yeah, so there is plenty of stuff they can put in there.
There is. There's going to be a whole mission out of just getting your uniform, right? Like that's going to be a bigger thing.
The whole chapter.
Maybe. They might skip it.
Overall, then, what did you think of Intermission before we wrap this up?
I really liked it. For me, the end made it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was surprising how, like, with that ending, that's quite an important ending, which kind of indicates that this isn't just like a side quest. It's like you probably need to play this in order to play the next part. Yeah. But overall, like, I wasn't like in love with this as much as I was with the 7 remake. Like, I had less kind of wow moments. I think Nero was really the only bit where I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Okay.
So I was even asked, like, is it worth getting, or should I wait till it goes on sale? And I was like, I actually think possibly you could wait for this to go down in price.
Okay. I really enjoyed it. I had a great time with it. I do wish it was longer.
Yeah.
Or that there was more, like just another chapter. I do feel like there's a middle chunk missing. I don't know how much of a complaint that is to say I want more. So it was the opposite of I want this to be over. It was I want to play more of this, which is great. And I cannot wait for part 2 of this remake. I'm itching for it. Like anything they could give me, I would take it. So I really enjoyed it, and that ending was a nice surprise that I wasn't expecting at all.
It was nice.
And I will say, in terms of the Yuffie part of it, so that the ending was obviously the standout in a way, because it just opened your mind to like even more shit going forward. But the standout for me was, and this is not going to be for everyone, but Yuffie at one point to like say, okay, you got this, girl, you don't need to be scared. And she does a little thing, right? Which is what she used to do in the original game the whole time.
Yeah.
She used to go around going, and I was like, the fact that they worked that in and it seemed so natural. It's like, I fucking love this shit. I was like, that's so good. I can't believe that she just did that and it wasn't weird. That was the least weird thing about her character. Like, she did lots of weird shit, but just that little like was fucking brilliant. I loved it.
For those who are listening, what he's referring to is that Yuffie sometimes punches the air.
It just does like a little noise. You see, in the original game, I always thought that was her way of saying "I'll fuck you up," but in this, they use that as her way of like, it's like you don't need to be scared, pumping herself up. And I just thought it was a great character moment. And they played on the fact that she has vertigo. She actually has a fear of heights and motion. She gets motion sickness, which is a big thing of her character in the original. So all those little details that they're focusing on just really worked for me.
Oh yeah, she does.
Yeah, they know these characters.
100% confident in all the next parts being really great games. Yeah.
But now we'd love to hear from other people. So if you've played Intermission, if you've watched it being streamed, and even if you've just played the base game of Final Fantasy VII Remake for the first time with Intergrade or whatever, do get in touch. Let us know all your thoughts on it. What you think of Yuffie, what you think of all the combat. Do you have any theories going forward? And do you have any theories about what you've seen so far with the remake? Because I love that shit. We all love that shit. We'd love to hear more about that. And if you've enjoyed this, if you're watching this on YouTube, please do give this video a thumbs up. Click subscribe and click that notification bell so you know when we put out future content, and jump into those comments so that we know, give us your thoughts on everything that we talked about today, whether it's Final Fantasy VII Remake, whether it's Xbox Series X, or whether it's the crazy blue box Kojima theories. Like, there was so much we covered today, and we'd love other people to join in the discussion and give your thoughts on any of the above. For listeners on audio platforms, please touch base with us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take. Let us know all your thoughts on everything we've discussed today, and also give us a follow. We'd really appreciate that. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. We'll be back to talk about... Actually, we'll be doing an entire spoiler cast next week on Resident Evil Village, because Adam has finally played and completed it, and we have been dying to talk about it. And it's been out long enough that it's going to be a full spoiler cast. So if you've played it, come along for the ride. If you've watched someone stream it, come along for the ride. Or if you don't care, you just want to hear us talk about an awesome game, come along for the ride. That's coming next week. So don't miss that. We'll be talking to you guys about that next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.